Let's do another setup using front projection mapping. In this case, I'm going to load a countertop image, put it in my background, countertop image, and once again, in my display properties, set it to display my background image. Remember, this only gets displayed in my camera view. Once again, I'm going to load my 1 meter square, and here's the trickiest part, which is positioning my camera so that it matches up more or less exactly with my background image. Now, this is another case where you can see my grid, my Lightwave grid here is really handy. I can check my perspective before shortening, and by using the grid, which makes it real easy to see through, I can get pretty close just by eyeballing it. And I think that's pretty close. So now I can see that my rotation is pretty well exact, so I just need to move, and that should all match up pretty well. Now I could just cheat and fill up the whole screen with the plane, but it looks like this will wind up to match pretty evenly and pretty much dead on for the position that I want. So I'm just going to keep that. So the next thing I'm going to do is load up an object to place on here. And I think a good object would be an apple, because it's a kitchen. And this apple looks a little small. Actually, it's probably built to scale, because this is a 1 meter plane, which is bigger, is about 2 or 3 times bigger than this actual area. So I'm just going to size up my apple here. And let's see what happens when we render this out. We have our apple in a big, yucky gray square. So the things we do, once again, we're going to turn on Ray Trace Shadows, and we have a shadow which looks nothing like these other shadows, but we'll get to that a little later. Let's adjust our front projection mapping for that plane. Go to our Surface Editor, expand this in our meter square. Of course, we're going to go apply an image map, which is the countertop, and front projection mapping. Something to warn you about front projection mapping. OpenGL is not always kind to front projection mapping. It sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't work. It has to do with your computer, your graphics card, and the current version of Lightwave. So what we have right here, looks like we need more light on our countertop here, which is actually the big gray square. It'd be nice if we could actually cut it off here. These lines are matching up, but we're going to have a problem over here. So the two things we need to do is increase the amount of light that's hitting this, or at least the reaction to the front plane to the light. We're also going to have to match these streaks here.